First of all, I think your analysis was very straight line. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing funds.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go down that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that thing.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Come on, Lou Taylor. That's good. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
okay,
an
he's good too.
erratic
Mikhail
detective,
Rodriguez.
is Mikhail Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? Look, girl, how you deal with that? You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Kingdom, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that. Hi there. Good evening from Queenstown, Georgetown, Guyana, elsewhere, based in your time zone. Good evening again, good night, good morning, good afternoon. This is the Friday calling edition of the Freddie Kissoon Show. I am holding the fort alone. I alone will be on the console. So call me and ask anything. Our advertisement for this evening's program is on Donald Trump and the American election. Mr. Trump, whether you like him or not, is an extraordinary man who has done extraordinary things in the United States that no one ever dared to do, and that makes him a phenomenon. You could say there's a negative phenomenon or there's a positive phenomenon. I think he's both. So call in tonight and tell us why you think he won, why Miss Harris lost. If you read my daily columns on the election in the Guyana Chronicle, I didn't have a choice. I would never vote for someone like Mr. Trump, but conscience would not allow me to vote for someone like Miss Harris. I would never vote for anyone who has a mental support or feels comfortable with the committal of genocide. Miss Harris said in an interview on the famous talk show program, The View, that she was part and parcel of most of the decisions of the Biden administration. And one of those decisions was to turn a blind eye to the committal of genocide. Or when you think of who Miss Harris is, a Jamaican father, mother from India, non-white person, supported by the non-white people, especially Africans in the United States. How could such a person support genocide? But that was Miss Harris. So the phone lines are open. Please call and tell us what you think about the American election. That election is a transformation of political theory when it comes to understanding political theory, when it comes to understanding American society. What Mr. Trump has done, who Mr. Trump has defied, is simply extraordinary. It will take more than an hour and a half. It will take almost a book-length manuscript to explain what Mr. Trump has done to the United States, both in a negative and a positive way. But of course, in philosophy, they say that social forces and the individual are dialectically linked, that you can't say only social forces create history and history moves only by social forces. And you can't say it's the individual alone that move. There's a lot of things I have to say, but let's take this call. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Freddie. I listened to you here right now, and you said you will never support neither of the two persons who are running for president in the U.S. And because of the decision that Kamala made, that's one of your concerns. But help me here, I'm learning here right now. The 7th of October, when Gaza went in there and strike first, forget about the past, and on the 7th of October, when they went in and fired all those missiles and killed so much people first, what do you thought about that?
When who went in?
Gaza.
When the Israelis went into Gaza?
No. When the Gaza strike Israel first, on the 7th of October.
When Gaza strike Israel? I think the people that struck Israel were people fighting for their independence in Gaza of a foreign occupying force. You don't put it, you're putting it incorrectly. When the Gaza struck Israel, Israel is an occupying force in Gaza. The people have a right to kick out an occupying force. The United Nations said Israel's occupation of the West Bank and Gaza is illegal. What is Israel doing in Gaza and the West Bank? You want to talk about that?
No, so I'm learning. So I'm learning from you right now as a good intellectual person. So you were saying what they did on the October,
why you started with what the Hamas did in October the 7th?
Yeah, but that will start everything that all is killing happening right now.
That is Hamas attacking an occupying force. We live very freely here, and we get support from Venezuelan threats. And
Israel independent state from 1947 or 48. Help me there.
So I think you're confused, and you're confusing me. What Israel as an independent force has to do with Israel in Gaza? What are you talking about? Please go and check.
On the 7th of October.
So what? Israel, you just told me Israel is an independent country.
People like you and me who are spreading hatred among our religions, people in Guyana need to stop it.
Spreading hatred? You know the only reason why you were on the phone talking nonsense is because everybody, even the dull and ignorant, have a right to thank you. Now, did you listen to that gentleman? I said I wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris because she supports genocide. He called me and asked me what I think of the invasion of Israel on October the 7th. That invasion, it was wrong. It is always wrong to kill civilian people. And Hamas that went into Israel should not have killed civilian people, although they were military people among the dead. But Hamas has a right. The Hamas organization are Palestinian people fighting for their right to sovereignty that the United Nations says belongs to the Palestinian people. If Israel did not occupy Gaza and West Bank, you would not have had October the 7th. And if Israel do not pull out of West Bank and Gaza, it's quite likely any intellectual, any first-year university student will tell you, you're going to have another October the 7th. People who are enduring apartheid in West Bank and Gaza of a different race, of a different religion, they're not going to stop. So I thought the gentleman would have called to say October the 7th was unfortunate, and he hopes that there isn't another October the 7th. Good evening.
Good evening.
You have to tune down your the volume of your phone.
tune it down. Good
Yeah.
night to you.
Good night.
Freddie, I hope that the government of Guyana learn a lesson for what happened in America. The people who are crying out to Biden, there's an invasion in the country. There's so much wrong thing was happening there and never pay heed. I hope this government don't be complacent. Guyana becoming a police state. Look, you're traveling from the East Coast. I travel every day from the East Coast, going to Temiri, and all about on the route. Police stopping you. What is stopping you for? Check your document. Only that.
Hold a sec before you continue. My wife and I go driving Sunday. We went up to Perica, and within the space of 1 mile, there were 3 squads of police at different spots. Within the space of 1 mile, so I pulled up and said to them, "This is the 3rd squad I've met within the space of 1 mile, and all they do is asking people for their documents." So I understand what you're saying. I saw it at Essequibo, and when we left Essequibo and we coming into Demerara, there was still a few squads. I can't understand why the police force in East Bank Essequibo would have 3 squads of police, I think 4 or 5 of them, within a radius of 1 mile. Yes, sir, go ahead. Yes, sir, go ahead.
You leave better for walking. When you leave on the East Coast, better for walking, they stop you. You come on the new highway there, they stop you. You go down to Providence, they stop you. You drive when you go on the East Bank, when you reach somewhere around Hope side there, they stop you again. All over they stop you. I want to see a document. I just want to see a document.
Well, you know, the police 10 years ago, and I've written so much about it, the police say the standard operating procedure for traffic cops is to stop you if they're suspicious of something or they see an error committed. They just can't stop you and ask you for documents. But that's how it is. And I have written so much, sir. I've been a columnist for 36 years, and I've written more than 10 columns on traffic cops just stopping you documents. But
I think I hear the Minister of Legal Affairs, Arnold Andalal, say the police have no right to stop you unless they suspect something.
that is standard operating procedure that was promulgated and publicized more than 10 years ago. I could tell you, for me, I don't know about other people, they don't stop me. That's unfortunate. They probably see that's Freddie Kissoon. But I got stopped 1 or 2 times, and I said to them, "Just tell me why you're stopping me. I'm not showing you any papers." And they didn't want any confusion. Just say, "Okay, Mr. Kissoon, carry on." People need to say to them, "Why are you stopping me?" But I've written about that thing. That thing was in the papers. Of the police say you can't. Three police commissioners have said within the past 10 years you cannot stop people for documents. But that's it. They're still doing it. I know.
That's a show that the government is toothless where the police is concerned. If they stop you one time and they put a paper on your windscreen, you know, a big paper on your windscreen to show that okay, the police.
Yeah. They show that. So
stop you again.
Yeah. So you I am sure what I saw in West Coast and Essequibo, East Bank Essequibo, which is a continuation of West Coast. We call all West Coast. I'm sure.
I gotta traverse every day, and it's a pain with these people there, my friend. It's a pain. And it's not only me, they're taking advantage of other people. Sometimes I want to slip with the document, they gotta carry in the station, and you know what happens when they go in there.
But a lot of those offenses are ticketable. Look, I think that I hope this program, I hope the Minister Robson Ben listening. I know one person made an accusation against Mr. Ben, and he did call Gildavi to complain. So I hope he's listening.
Okay, Freddie, thank you.
Bye. Hi there. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Yeah, you have to lower your volume. I am hearing.
No, you can't hear nothing anymore.
Okay, fine.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes, Freddie.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm always doing all right. You have to.
Good.
You have to.
Anyway, I just want to give a point of view about, you were talking about Trump and the states, and then that guy called in. He didn't understand. He just called in just to get airtime.
Yeah, sure.
You got to understand that this thing was going on for 100 years, and they're trying everything. And the only way that the Israeli react to that and the U.S. go into that is when a war starts like now. And when everything done and they got that, there will never, ever be peace there because nobody want to give in. Nobody want to give in. You tell me you're trying, Guyana and Venezuela fight for 100 years and nothing come. And the biggest force is the man who got all the weapons. And what happened after that? They bomb, they kill, they do everything, and they're gone. The whole Muslim war there, they're sitting and they talk. We're going to negotiate. We're going to want this. We're going to want that. But here, they got nothing to benefit from that. They got to benefit from the U.S. because the U.S. tell them, okay, we're going to give another $500 million like Kuwait, not Kuwait, the Jordan and them, because they collect the U.S. money.
Yeah.
So there will never, ever be peace there because the only way you can be peace is if they come to the table, the Muslim countries sit inside, United Nations, the Americans sit there, and here, let me draw off this. But nobody will do that because nobody got nothing to gain from it. Nobody got nothing to gain from it. But because of that fight going on for 100 years, how much people died? 42 or 45,000 Muslims value 1,000 lives of Israelis. And that guy was talking, it's not that.
Forget about him. Look, you're going to meet this world has all kinds of people. He's one of the stupid ones. Forget about him. Don't give him any recognition. Let's go on with your point, sir.
Yes, and then coming back to Canada again, that Quebec is fighting Canada for, they want their own state in Quebec.
Well, that is finished with. I don't think they still do. That is done and dusted. There's no
No, well, Canada, I'm going to give you some parallels. Canada, Quebec is fighting for their own status here.
And Scotland, right.
You can't get that. Right now, Diwali night, they had a big war. If you check on the YouTube, you're going to see that the Sikh community go to the Hindu temple and one big fight. If you check.
Yeah, I read it. Yeah.
Right. So why is that? Because they call the Indian government. So if that Guyana government come here, or if Fanali come, or Bharat come here in Canada, nobody don't like them, the PNC people will go and start break up everything. No, you have a right to do what you want, but don't go as Brampton now in Canada, they're going to pass a law. Nobody must go to any temple to protest and cause confusion, right? And you want your problems, you want your state, go back to India and fight. The Indians don't kill one another in Canada. That's where the thing deteriorates. Just like Palestinians, they're fighting in Canada, America, Amsterdam. Yes, I understand that they got hatred going on, but you can't disturb people's life from all the other countries, them, and the best place to solve it is United Nations, but nobody will do anything there. Have a good night.
Okay, sir. Thanks for coming through. Good. Our lines are open. I'm alone in the studio. There's no co-host. Next week there will be a co-host. So that's the landline. Please call in. The advertisement for the show is on the American elections. We'd like to hear from you in the diaspora why you think Trump won. Conversely, why Ms. Harris lost. what's in store for the world. The United States is one of the two superpowers in the world after China. So the United States global action has implications for the entire world. So call and tell us what is your take on the elections, what you see happening with the United States under Trump. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Freddie.
Yeah, sir.
I want to give a little intake about Guyana drivers and this roundabout.
Yeah.
I visit Guyana, and I see drivers still have a lot of confusion about using the roundabout. And we are not giving, like, you know, space time on your program. The government should give you at least 5 minutes on your program with a video to show commuters how to use the roundabout.
Okay, that's fine.
I see drivers.
All they have to do is call, and they'll get more than 5 minutes, and they could come every Friday night and just. That's a free offer.
Because drivers are stopping. Drivers in Guyana are stopping on roundabout to give oncoming traffic way to get on the roundabout. It's causing a lot of confusion on how to use roundabout. So that's my little intake, that the government should use program like yours and you know, show a video on your program and use your program to enlighten the citizen how to use the roundabout, because it's a new thing in Guyana with the roundabout.
Okay, you have a point, but
that's my little
your little contribution
to your program today.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Excuse me?
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Good. The phone line is open. We have one line tonight. We don't have a WhatsApp line, which means we're not going to hear from our diaspora friends because there's no WhatsApp. If you want, you can call me on my cell phone and tell me what your contribution, and I will convey it to the viewers. My cell is 614. Hello, good evening.
Hi, Mr. Kissoon. Good night.
Good night.
All right, my contribution here tonight, I want to know, where are we going where the police is concerned? The corruption is so overwhelming, right? You hear an assistant commissioner of 8 million, 150 million with another police, with a pension book scheme or whatever. But my biggest concern, we made several reports, personally, for this truck in the session, overload stone, breaking up people in shield, right? One of my colleagues, his brand new car was screen break, he got it on video, he take it to the person down. Could I call the trucking company? Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, we're listening.
Yeah, could I call the trucking company?
I think you should.
Yes.
Do they know? You haven't contacted them as yet?
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the son, by the name of Terry, he was willing to pay for the windscreen when the mother jumped up and deny him and said no. Right? I make several reports to the police. One morning, I was driving one from my way by the 5 colony, and then a timber truck, the chain loose. I go to the outpost and said, please stop this truck on the road.
And they didn't?
No, they stopped it. They did stop it, and guess what? Then they let him go.
Oh my.
For my theory now, trust me when I tell you this, Mr. Kissoon, I pick up some nice hand stone, big, that I could fit in my hand. Any truck, break my windscreen, I'm breaking his windscreen at the spoil the moment. Let the chips fall wherever they may. Because the ground with this is so...
No, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. You're going to get yourself in trouble.
When you get justice, if the police do stop them, they make a call to a big body, right? And all they are, you go here, release the truck. When, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, if you see stone from coming up the wall,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Brakes, you can't get brakes.
You can't take the law into your hand like that. You're going to get into trouble.
Freddie Kissoon, I did it before and win it in court too. And if I got it all again, so shall it be. Who we don't run to? Tell me to God. Who do we run to? Oh, there's laws for the shop post to carry cover. The session exceeds stone. Where do we go, man?
Okay.
I do what I gotta do, and I know we got good guys out there, but stand in my corner. Enough is enough, Mr. Kissoon.
No, man, you can't break people windscreen now. I will advise, I know how you feel, and the complaints against the police force in this country are unlimited. But just be careful and keep your head on. Okay? Are you there? Hello? Good. Hello?
Good night.
Yeah, good night. Tune on your volume, right?
Yeah, this is Freddie Kissoon show.
Yeah, man.
Okay, good night, sir.
Good night.
Okay. The thing that the guy said, and these things are real happening to people, with these kind of people who are smoking, drugs. I think you find that the bad people getting the laugh at the bad people and the good people when they go to the they even have a vice. You have to pay for your vice when you go to the station. And when you go and give a complaint or drugs, man, thing your man thief in your place, police don't have time with you. Police don't even get time with you. No matter how much report. I give report many times about people. You know, knock cutlass and grung out for me. Go to the station, I mean, record the police them. None of them don't come. Not even one of them don't come. And they live in far, they live in couple seconds before you reach and don't go. I will tell you, they come never see. And never ever saw. So these things go on for a long. I feel one thing the government is missing is the last suit the criminals, but you don't suit the ordinary man who worked very hard and save up, put his wealth a corner to build this country. Because right now what's going on in this world is drugs. Why is them young kids that were smoking drugs and all that? Drugs are selling rapidly in this country right now. And nobody is doing nothing. And these drugs, guys, everyone has a knife in their waist or something in their waist. Look a simple example at Rosalia, what this guy got for robbing his man. Look how the people get themselves involved. Suppose now, everybody jumping up, your mama jumping up, you're not supposed to kill you. Suppose they even joke the man and kill you for goal. What would they come to the man, family, and the business? He wastes his life, he was let thief in, and for do wrong thing, and now you guys involved yourself in the prison, wrongfully. We need the government to change this law. Let's protect themselves from man attack you. If you're wrong by attacking a man, and the man kill you, well then you got to face the consequence. Like I don't see a man come in my store. I have a business. I don't see a man come in my store for rob my family. I don't know what you can do with me. If you brutalize me, if you chop me, you bore me and kill me, I have to defend myself. And people have a right to defend themselves because let me tell you, I don't think this is safe in this country. I don't see the government not looking at that tal. People need to come out because the law suits the criminals, all the drugs man, all the thief man, and the people who do wrong thing. You leave what I'm telling you. You believe if he been joke the businessman and kill that man for his jury, he would have just gone and spend a time and come out because he don't care nothing. He don't care nothing. The man is choppy up, so the man got end up in prison. You believe a man for a choppy josser? You got to do something. How would you stand up for see a man brutalize your neighbor, killing your neighbor, and you stop right here? Which you sis? How you just tell me that? If a man come in your house and I have to kill your family, you stand for what? You know how many people want to defend themselves and can't defend themselves? Because of the law? Because of the law. Because a man got chop me wife or my son in front of me. And I go for defend him. He come for rob him, go for defend him, for fight him and kill him. Sometimes he think in me, you know what? Let me know where he kill this man. Let me give him everything or let me stab it and let me give him everything and let me go on your way. Because I will get jail. That is wrong, total wrong. You're sweating your blood. People don't know. You might be your businessman, you know.
No, under natural law, you have a right to defend yourself. I don't think there's any civilized part of the world that would say you don't have a right to defend yourself. Self-defense is basic to human existence.
Yes, I understand. But this doesn't happen here. Because I see many people defend themselves in prison and in jail.
You think so?
I think so. Because, I could tell you something, for instance, you know how many people come to my store and accuse you out, question you, and beat you. I know what I'm going to do. Shut them out because I know they can't beat me. I don't want to get the wrong part because of the law. The law is wrong. Who forced me to station, them get right. I mean, like station. If you beat a man, or a man beat you, and you don't go station, tell the police that you're harassing, you beat him, police lock you up first. Especially if it's a drugs man. If it's a drugs man, well, here, the drugs man get right. He right away, he get right. You involve yourself. Mr. Freddie, let me tell you something. I get myself caught up in wrong things. The police do me wrong things. Here, allow me to tell you, I never get justice. After today, I raised my story with the president. With the president, I raised it with. And I never get justice after today. Because I don't believe in the police force. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying...
Yeah, there's too many complaints in a small country like this about the police force, man. There's just too many complaints. Something has to be done about the police. It's like they're almost out of control, man. I see things on the road all the time.
You know why? Let me tell you. Because the government, I don't think, pay attention to them. Because when you catch a man taking bribe or doing a wrong thing, a policeman, you switch it to the next station. Doesn't make any sense to me. You take a thief from this house and put him in the next house. What do you feel he can do? It's wrong. When the police are supposed to get the biggest penalty in a country for doing wrong things. I think you take a bribe, it's 10-year sentence. 10-year sentence right away. You should even think about a coastal lands with your kids. And I tell people every time that they come to my store, because the amount of complaint these youths are giving me, and I've seen the youths, them are good, because you got a lot of youths, don't listen. But the ones them who are trying their best to do the right thing, police are harassing these guys, them and take money out of them. Look at the guy coming to me shop the other day, for 2 days now. I said, Uncle, we come and tell a rose, I'll come buy things for you. And just the police stop me, that's about $5,000 again. This is fun. What really do I? He said, your head not good? I like mine policeman. He said, Uncle, are we freaking in this?
Yeah, people are afraid. People just want to go about their business, and so they say, look, let me give you $5,000, and they're gone. I mean, you could imagine you going home to your family to have your relaxation at home, and the police stop you. You don't want to go to the station, so you just give him a $5,000.
That's right, correct.
People are just afraid.
Mr. Ferry, let me tell you something here tonight. I don't care what happened or what. My son writes his test. I sent him. He bright. And I said, my son don't go no way. He don't walk about a road. He don't drink, fast, smoke, nothing. One single child I have. And let me tell you something. He don't know nothing about speed limit. He never want a vehicle. He never want a motorbike. He never want a bicycle, nothing. So I speak to him. He grow him there. He's a strict father. I don't make jokes. As he married, I play married. Boss he has. I'll be married. They don't play games. They're the old generation. And, the son writes his test. I don't care who here or what. I'm talking from because that wasn't my intention. And he writes his test. And when he writes his test, he said that he failed by 2. And the marks that he failed by, he don't know the speed limit because he's not a driver. He never drive on the road. He don't go about anywhere. I said, son, listen to me. Go back, pay $1,000, write your exam back. You know, that bike put in for that thing. And 4 months actually done. And never get a call. You know what I did? I had to did. I call a boy who get bike for a walk in the police station, the police. And I say, man, I need a license. And this boy not get a call. Nobody call him back this child. And this boy, I text him silly and I find out when they get called, when they get nobody do nothing. I said, listen to me. Can I have a license? He said, yes, you can get a license. Listen to this. I don't care who here. I know it's the wrong path I go. But to show you what's going on in the country. And I say, man, listen to me very carefully. So I need a license. The master isn't talking about
you pass your hand.
You know, the next day the man can't make it on date. that man could get away for 4 months. That is what's going on. They're pressuring the people there for money. The police are purposely doing things. Purposely. They're making you got to pay no matter what. Making you have to pay this money. If you go to the station, then them RC just step out the station when I log it. What's your problem? Okay, left for fine thing now. Do you not meet in a station yet? That's for fine thing. That's how the government is not paying attention to these people. These people are very corrupt. And I always speak, these people are undermining this government. They are undermining this government. A lot of people are talking bad about the government because of police. I'm not saying these people are very good. I'm not saying all is good. I'm not all is bad. I'm not saying all the police bad or good. I'm just speaking the truth what's happened. And listen, it's hurting me because we're supposed to live with unity. We're supposed to do the right thing. Police are supposed to do the right thing. Government people know the right thing, but they're doing the wrong things.
Okay, man. Just keep your peace of mind, right? Don't let that create crisis in your mind.
No, I know.
You got to get on with your life.
So I don't want to blame the government, but I'm saying they need to look into that, and the laws, they need to change those law. The because criminal will get more advantage from the people, and it's happening already. We see it and it get worse.
All right. Thanks for coming through, man.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Bye-bye. Good. My cell phone is rang just now. I don't know if somebody wants to say something. Until the phone rings, let me see. Hello? 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 Good evening. Yeah. Let me take this call. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Yep.
One question, based upon what's going on in your program.
Yeah.
One question. Why is Rosenben still the Minister of Home Affairs? Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Kissoon. I listened to your program. You said you want to vote for Kamala Harris. So who you would have voted for in the Trump?
I probably would have voted for a lady named Jill Stein, the lady, the Green.
Oh, the Green Party.
Yeah.
All right. So what you say about Donald Trump victory now?
I can't support Trump based on who he is and the things he believes in. I don't think such a person should run such an important country like the United States. But I think I understand. Liking Trump is one thing. Understanding why he got elected is another thing. And also, there are some qualities about Trump that I think makes him a very interesting person.
Now you change your mouth.
I haven't changed my mouth. I think Trump is an obnoxious human.
No, listen.
And he shouldn't be elected.
Mr. Freddie Kissoon, 3 months ago I tell you Donald Trump going to win the election, you don't have the phone on me.
I can't remember doing that. But I don't think Trump should have been elected. He has been elected, and that right to be elected should be respected. But that doesn't mean you can't like a person because they won.
No, when I mean like a person because he won, this was saying this is changing.
He won, and so be it. But I don't like him.
This is changing of times. Every day, every minute, things change. And you watch what Joe Biden do to that country, letting one set of illegal immigrants. And the whole, New York like a shithole now.
When
last you traveled to?
What's your language? I don't like traveling. The last time I traveled was 2000 to Miami to look after my eyes. I haven't been out of Guyana since 2000. That's 24 years ago.
All right, at least we have to live with Trump.
Well, I think Trump is a very, very unique, interesting man. in the context of what United States is. What he has done, I don't think anyone ever imagined he could do, because the United States have so brainwashed the people of the world that you think you think everything about other countries are bad, communism is bad, etc. And Mr. Trump defied a generation of ideological thinking in the United States. You could imagine a man won the presidency of the United States and he openly said, Vladimir Putin is my friend. You imagine the phenomenal courage that went into that? Because the United States has brainwashed people to think that Putin is the baddest thing in the world, Russia is the baddest thing in the world, Ukraine is the best thing in the world. That is what the media has been doing to United States people for the past 100 years. The media have shaped how the United States people think. And the one exception was Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump said, you are not going to shape the way I think. I don't think Ukraine is an issue for the American people. I don't think the American people care about Ukraine. And I am going to say openly, we should not support Ukraine. And that was phenomenal courage, given the kind of brainwashing the media has done to the American people the past 100 years.
Yeah, but you listened to Mr. Putin press conference last night?
No, I didn't.
You should. Anyway, you could go to YouTube and...
Yeah, of course.
Because the man praised Donald Trump a lot. The man praised Donald Trump, and they might like some of Donald Trump ideas, that the man and woman sports and these things. The man praised Donald Trump a lot.
He's a very unique, unpredictable man. Given the things that United States has done to the world, given the kind of brainwashing the corporate media have done to United States people, he rose above that and helped to change people's perception of how they see things. I think because of Mr. Trump, American people see Ukraine as not an issue for them. Now, if you worry with the media, you would think the biggest threat to the United States is what Russia is doing to the Ukraine. I think the people of the United States, from the little that I have known, that I've traveled, the American people don't even know much about Canada. They see Canada as a little backwater place next to the United States, way up north. United States, the American people are not very au fait at all with what Canada is, much less Ukraine. It's the media that is pushing this thing about Ukraine.
Destroying the whole, not United States, they're destroying the whole world. But what I'm saying in the United States, I feel that the United States just open for people to go and work and make money and go back home to their country and see if they can live on it. This is what I feel. This was a man like Akon said that. He said United States is not for people. He said United States is for millionaires people. This is what Mr. Akon said. The singer.
Yeah. The singer from Senegal, yeah.
From Senegal, that's what he said. You must listen to his
But I've heard that so many times. People say, look, go there, make your heights, and then come back. I've heard I would say hundreds of people said that, and I'm not a fan.
Said several times I don't like the place at all.
I'm not a fan of the United States. I think the United States is one of the worst countries in the world, philosophically.
It's not the worst country, but
no, it's one of the worst countries in the world.
I can't adapt to the United States. I can't adapt to that. The principle, the living standard. All right, thanks a million.
Right, okay. Bye-bye. Good. Let's continue the conversation. Somebody trying to get me on the cell phone, but My cell phone is a little mango pelter. For the operator, our monitor is gone. Could you please fix the monitor? If you listen to me, the monitor is gone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, man.
So I don't know if you noticed, they had a video circulating on Facebook yesterday and the next day with a girl from who was at a small business, whereby she was complaining that banks and salesmen then come in, taking her out of the big Chinese supermarkets, and they're coming to the small shop because she was buying 5 case banks, 5 case Guinness.
I don't know about that video because I don't have I don't have a Facebook account, but I know people called in about that before.
Okay.
People called in.
Here the thing is this, right? Banks got a shot at the beverages.
That thing is still short? Not up to now.
Yeah, because as of yesterday, today, they got no Guinness, no GTB.
But people calling about that about 8 months ago.
No, they still got a shot. Now, here the thing is this. When they do that stuff, priority is given to the Chinese supermarket and it holds seriously. Now, let me tell you what has happened. These salesmen then got a relationship with these Chinese and they see the wholesalers, whereby now they're giving them priority, and when they go in, these people giving them a tapper. So, we make you priority, you come and deliver, we go to you wear 5,000 or 10,000 tappers. So, they clean up a damn bit of smart business there. Now, there's the reality of what's going on. I wish you could get a rep from banks to come and set up on this program and let people call in. Dedicate overnight to them. And here the amount of company you get, you're not going on with banks like that. And it is a reality. People can't doubt it. If you open the show and got a rep from a manager or somebody come, you will see the whole night. You phone that phone.
Well, I don't. When I hear these things, Saul, it makes me so dejected about where Guyana is going. Every day you pick up the papers, you hear criticism of the government. The government, but other institutions do bad things to people in this country, and you don't see people writing. Like, either people want publicity or they so hate the government that every day you pick up the papers, you go on social media, Mr. Jack Dio, Dr. Orphan Ali, Priya Manik Chan, the Ministry of Education, and other institutions. What you were talking about there is something we need to take up. Banks DIH is a revered Guyanese institution. They should not do that. They should not do that. You're killing small banks, is killing small people when they do that. And the splash water, the lemon, and the lemon in that room, they got a shortage too. I don't know if the shortage is due to the expanding economy and more people are in Guyana, more people are buying things. I don't know, but how? Yes, we agree with it. There are more hotels, there are more business going up. A lot of people socializing and consuming now. You're fair enough. But then, you got to up your game now, right? And produce more. It's supply and demand. You just can't give one set of people everything and make them priority. You happen to be smart people then. So that loan, that that 1 star or 2 stars, these people can survive too. They got customers based too. It's unreasonable. I should get some money from banks to come to the program and talk about it. They just stand up to the graph and the people assuming this and saying that. But the little you got to figure this is, man, then, whereby they get in a drawback of 5,000 or 10,000 from this body and that body. So obviously, they are more so than people get it. That's small, man, and give them. Yeah, that is so sad. The small the small person. Yes, good. Bye-bye. Good. There are a couple of things when the program starts. There's a couple of things we normally discuss with you. But as soon as this edition of the program starts, the phone starts to ring. The Friday program is to give people to ventilate their opinions, ideas, viewpoints, for or against, or to be neutral. But there's something I wanted to say that is in the news. If the phone rings, we'll have to give a priority to the phone. But this thing about making Lamaha Street a one-way, it didn't work. And so either the police or the Ministry of Public Work has reverted to Lamaha Street being a two-way. What I can't understand is they made Lamaha Street a one-way because they say there's a lot of confusion when you reach by the hospital, by Thomas Street. But there is a road next to Lamaha Street. And instead they take that road and take it straight to Main Street, so there'll be a parallel road to Lamaha Street. They make it a parking lot. And so it begins from Irving Street, also Grimsing Road, and it goes right straight up to Main Street. A nice wide road, but they use it for recreational purpose, etc. If you make that thing a road available from Irving Street to Main Street, it would take a lot of pressure off of Lamaha Street, and you could do it one way. One of them, make both of them one ways. But anybody living in Georgetown could see there's a brand new street next to Lamaha Street, but it's not for use. It's for parking, it's for recreation. A part of it is the GRA is using it, and then it goes up to Main Street where it's being used as a recreation facility and for parking. And they created confusion by making Lamaha Street a one-way. Now I've seen that they reverted back to the two-way thing, because if you're coming from the East Coast, you normally would take Lamaha Street to go to the hospital. Now if you're coming from the East Coast, you have to go straight for St. John Road, turn by Popeyes, come up back, go into Queenstown to get to the hospital. I don't know whose idea was that, but there's a lot of things that the Ministry of Public Works are doing, which are commendable because the intention is to do good, but it's badly plotted out. It's badly planned. When I saw what was going on next to Lamaha Street, I thought it was a road they were putting there. I don't know, it was actually a road from Irving Street to Main Street, but it's not for the public use. It's recreation, for parking, and it's so wide that you could make that thing a road that runs parallel to Lamaha Street. That's the thing I wanted to comment about. So, call and let's talk about anything you want to talk about, but the topic this evening is, what are your views? Good evening. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Freddie.
Yeah.
What are we doing about this blackout?
Yeah, I know. You're telling me. You know what I have to do? I do a daily column for the Chronicle, and I have to make sure when I finish the column, I like to rest it and go and look it over. But you're afraid of blackout, and by the time blackout come back, it may be late. I may have other things to do.
That's one thing, but when you get blackout, there is no running water.
Yeah. Our pipe stops. Yeah, I know when they have blackout, our pipe stops. Yeah.
Now they're doing Berbice Road from Palmyra to Skellen. They are already doing the pipe, right? They move it over. But there is not even one fire hydrant on that public road. And we're talking about development this country. In what way to develop in? You can't even drink the tap water. Long ago, when I was going to school, pre-K, I could go and open the pipe water and drink it, but you can't drink it. So what we develop in what way? And Mr. Trump said, the other thing is Mr. Trump said he's going to start to pump oil. I hope the vice president aware of that, because once he starts to pump oil, you know what's going to happen in Guyana oil, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you're aware of that. That's my
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot for coming through.
Okay.
Hope we hear from you next Friday.
Yes.
Somebody's trying to get, this is about 10 call this person has made to me. I better find out what this person wants. Good. So let's talk about the American election. The American election is the talk of the world. Mr. Trump has won again. Let's talk about that. So we don't have a WhatsApp number tonight, so I suspect we wouldn't get many calls, if any, from the diaspora because they normally call on WhatsApp. So we'll just have to content ourselves with local calls, which quite fine with me. I don't have a WhatsApp number, so I guess our friends in the diaspora, we wouldn't be hearing from them. Good. So let's talk about the American election. I wanted to start that before the phone lines were open. So why did Mr. Trump win? And why did Kamala Harris lost? I think it had to do with the changing nature of American society. The media painted Mr. Trump in such a terrible way, which I think is justified. He is a terrible man, that the media believed that would have worked against Mr. Trump. But I think American society has changed. The world has changed. There are a new generation of young people. And what the media paints to them, they don't accept, or they don't bother, or they don't care about. Take, for example, the genocide in Gaza. The American media, as a matter of policy, refused to use the word genocide. There's no television station, there's no newspaper that uses the word genocide. And the United Nations said there's genocide being committed in Gaza. And that's the way the American media frame the news. And in framing it that way, they've brainwashed generations of Americans. And I think Trump has intervened and say, no, you're not going to do that anymore. That thing that you're painting about Ukraine, that you're painting about Putin, the American people don't have an interest in that. And so when it comes to Gaza, the American people knew that what the Americans were doing were wrong in Gaza, or what the Israelis are doing is committing genocide. And so you had the uproar among students all over the United States campus. And that shows where the media is failing in its effort to continue to brainwash the American people. And I think in that context, Trump is a positive emergence. This is a man who speaks his mind and speaks about issues that the American people were brainwashed to think that these issues are taboo, that you can't speak about Russia, you can't speak about communism. Since the Russian Revolution in 1914, the American media has so demonized the word socialism, the word communism, that you can't dare say in a function or in a speech anything nice about communism or about socialism. And Mr. Trump has broken that barrier. Mr. Trump speaks about North Korea. He speaks about the need for a settlement of the Ukrainian Russian problem. The media paints this thing as if the United States has to save Ukraine. The United States don't have to save Ukraine because the American people are not interested in Ukraine. Maybe 95% of them don't know where it is. They know about Ukraine. There's a country called Ukraine, and their government sending hundreds of billions of dollars in aid. But they probably don't know which part of Europe it is. And it is in that context we have to see the election of Trump. They say Trump is a womanizer, Trump is this, Trump is that. That's true. But do the American people see that as an issue? Do American people have these obsessions with the things that the media and corporate America hand to them? The world is changing. Good evening. Hello?
Yeah, good evening. Do you think that election is a done deal?
That what?
The election is a done deal? It's done?
Which election is a done deal? What?
The US election.
If it's a done deal, it's finished. Mr. Trump won, and the incumbent government has called him to concede defeat. So it's a done deal. I don't know what you mean by a done deal. I don't too like the term done deal. But the Americans had the elections and it's finished, and life goes on. Hello? 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 I don't know what that caller meant by if the election is a done deal. Don't know what he's talking about. The election was held, Mr. Trump won, and the incumbent government has conceded defeat. So I don't too like the term done deal. The election is completed and the United States moves on with its life, and so is the world. So, no call from the diaspora this evening. Unfortunately, we wouldn't get their take on why Trump won, how they feel. Especially I'd like to hear how Guyanese feel about the Trump victory. They say that immigrants... Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Freddie Kissoon. I just called to ask something. I know maybe you could correct me. It was 2021. I think we had the COVID cash grant.
Yeah.
And then in 2022, we had the $28,000. There was the pensioners, right?
Yeah, the one-off payment, yeah.
Good. So it was in 2023, we get $25,000 cash grant again for the pensioners.
Yeah.
But in 2022, there was a promise by the president that, in other words, you would be getting 13 months pay. I don't know if you could remember this. He mentioned that you would be getting 30 months pay instead of in connection with the, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening, yeah.
Yeah, the cash grant, right? So in 2023, when we get the cash grant, it was $25,000. So it wasn't, like if it was from $28,000, it should go further, but we get back $25,000. Now, what happens to 2024 cash grant?
I don't know. Maybe it will still come for Christmas. I don't know.
We still want to know because remember we are pensioners.
Yeah.
Soon we won't be here existing.
Yeah.
So we got to use all the energies that we have and stand up for the cash grant.
I remember a long time ago, I think it was about 20 years ago, Mr. Ralph Karan, who was at that time an icon in the PPP. And at that time, the PPP, he was part of the ruling party. And he did say that when you get older, that's when you need more money. And therefore, NIS and other should have...
You're vulnerable.
Right.
So
Yeah. I think that to my mind is not analytical, it is commonsensical, because all your organs and your tissues grow older, and so so I would think when you reach a certain age, the NIS and the senior citizenship pension would be more,
Yeah.
Because that I am saying if I would submit that as a policy to government, that when people get older, when you're in your 70s, you are like most people, what they can do is phase senior citizenship pension. From 65 to 70, so much. From 70 to 75, so much. From 75 to 80, senior citizen pension should be very much up in the sky there, because at that age, that's when you need, your health goes, you need more money to do the things that, to take care of yourself. I mean, if you go to one of those private hospitals, all your savings finish.
Right, that's true. I don't think the government is paying too much attention to the pensioners, which they should be paying attention to the pensioners, and they put more emphasis on the infrastructure, like for instance roads and things. Now the pensioner wouldn't enjoy all this road because they're feeble, they could hardly move.
I sat here with Leonard when he was a co-host, and we told our guest Joel Bagwandin that was last year's budget. I didn't accept that social assistance was increased by $2,000.
Yeah.
I didn't accept that. I don't see how that could have happened. If you're in need of social assistance, you're in need, man.
Yes.
And they increased that by 2,000. I couldn't accept that. I mean, I'm a supporter of the government, and I told Joel back then, but I couldn't accept that.
The last time Sharon Das was on the program when we talked about the pension,
he said it should be about 100,000.
He would give 100,000.
Yeah.
I want to know if this government is listening to this program. This is a very effective program because people from Norway and all them things that listen to this program. So I don't know if this government or the people listening to this program and know the plight of the pensioners. The pensioners need more,
I think it increased now to 41,000 from next year.
1,000 is not much.
Yeah, I know.
To give the pensioners $400 US. If they calculate it, give them like for instance, America in America is $400 US, and I think it's a little bit more. They should put more emphasis on the pensioners. I believe this is how I feel,
Well, I have to tell you, you're talking to a pensioner, so
you don't look like a pensioner.
You're talking to someone who collects senior citizen pension, and my whole life I have never had the kind of money that I need. My whole life, I've given 26 years to UG, and I was paid a pittance. So let me tell you something. This is one senior citizen who would welcome a whopping increase in pension simply because I need it.
We got to stand up for this thing. Somehow or the other, we got to stand up because I get agitated now because I see my life going. It's close, and I feel that I did so much for this country, and I didn't, I'm supposed to be benefiting now as a pensioner.
I give 26 years of my life to UG. Never worked for any other place except UG. And you don't want to believe what is my NIS pension and what is my UG pension. But
I think you mentioned it the last.
I think philosophic, because of my study in philosophy, you try to be a happy person. I am not an unhappy person. I mean, I would welcome a whopping increase in senior citizen pension, but I'm not an unhappy person. I don't think I want to be unhappy because I don't have. I mean, I think I should have been treated better as a public servant who worked 26 years at UG, but I am not going to spend my 70s being unhappy. I'm very much in love with my wife, and we're very happy together. So,
anyway, nice talking to you, Dr. Freddie.
Okay.
Take care, right?
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good. So, no calls from the diaspora. You don't have a WhatsApp, so you can call my number if you're in the diaspora. Good evening.
Yes,
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, well, let's analyze Trump's victory in America a bit more.
Yeah, let's hear from you. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we're looking at Trump's victory. So on the night of the election, I watched this thing for about 12 hours, right? And then, you had different media houses who were portraying the victory and the results and so. And they have, in America, they have about 4,045 counties. Each state have so many counties, right? And one of the things that was highlighted that Trump latched onto was the fact that in over 1,245 of those counties, you had an inflation rate that was way above the normal. The cost of living was an issue in those 1,245 counties. And Trump won those 1,245 counties because the Biden administration did not look into the direction of the rural areas. And that was a significant blow.
I think he's an incompetent president, quite frankly.
Yeah, but the thing is, we all paint the rosy picture of the United States of America, and in the big towns and the big areas and the university areas and so, where the Democrats were picking up the votes, that was okay, good. But then when you go into the inner cities and you go into these rural areas and you go into these real, places that have real hardship, that was where Trump was picking his votes up. And the fact that Trump won was an expectation, because it was anybody that the Democrats put up, Trump would have beaten them. I mean, it could have been Trump or any other Republican candidate, because America came through a crisis after COVID. Every other country in the world came through the crisis. But the supply chain issue still was an issue. The cost of living was still an issue for most Americans. And you found that, people could barely put food on the table. And in any country in the world, Freddie, when your citizenship cannot afford to put food on the table, they force turn their makers on the government of the day. I know you as a political analyst would agree with such a statement.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you, and I know that's the reason why Trump won. The American dream has been shattered, and Trump came, saw the extent to which the United States economy, had gone down, and said, listen, let's make this country great again. And you know what he mean by,
industry that Trump was onto. Trump always believed in having the industries in the United States.
You know what?
There was this guy that was telling Trump, we're building this huge car factory. And then Trump said to him, where are you building this factory? And he says, no, we're building this factory in Mexico. And Trump says, why are you going to build a factory in Mexico when we want to sell American cars? We want American people to drive American cars and buy American cars.
I think what Trump did, people say all kinds of things about him, but he's not a stupid man. I think.
You gotta remember, he's a businessman. I mean, he spent a lot of his life earning money based on his business.
He saw where the United States has gone down. Look, that country fools people, and it has an image of the world that is deceptive. That country has serious poverty. Serious.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know what they do? Let me say something. Because of the power of the United States media, the world don't hear the truth. You know what those Chinese did? Those people brought out of poverty hundreds of millions of people. You know what the United States does? And it's going to create it's going to create hundreds of Trump. That country has 252 military bases around the world. That country's military budget combines the world. You imagine that?
The thing is, I mean, you gotta understand that the man is saying we gotta develop our own country.
Do you know
we've got to look after our own interests. The American people need a sound economic future.
You know what Mr. Biden is doing. That country's economy is down, inflation is high up, and he is sending 50 billion to Ukraine. You don't see Trump had to win?
Definitely, because the fact of the matter is you can't give other countries money.
Well, we lost that caller. He did have a very plausible argument for why Trump won. And I think the Trump victory should open the eyes to the people of the world. This country, this big, huge, rich country, is not what it appears to be to the people of the world. This country is seriously have serious economic problems. Its people are not living a life of basic necessity, not 1% or 2%. There's substantial sections of the American population that are not living adequately. And when you hear this word United States, you think about the richest country in the world, and that is the place to go to, and you get rich overnight. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of countries that have far more stable economy, and their people live very well and better than American citizens. But that is the narrative that United States, and especially its media, have fostered upon this world for the past 60, 70, 80 years. The United States, you know what the United States has done to its people? It has subliminally infected its people with the notion of it's a special country. Obama, for his 8 years in presidency, always used to say United States is a special country. And the Americans grew up on that mantra. There is nothing special about the United States. Absolutely. There's nothing, there's lots of things that are very bad and negative about the United States that frightens the world. But it's the power of the United States culture and media. So everywhere you go around, you hear, you're from the US or the US. But people are not doing well in the US. You know what it is for have a country with that kind of beaten economy, and you're spending trillions on defense. You have 250 military bases around the world. You take $50-60 billion and give to a country named Ukraine, and the American people can use that. You think Trump is stupid? He knew he would have won. He knew he would have won. The American media tried to keep him out, but they know he was unstoppable. They know what America is going through. America has some excruciating manifestation of poverty. When you think of this country, when you look at how rich it is, and you see how people live in there, you say something is surreal about the United States. Something is surreal. You have a country so rich and yet so poor, and they fool the world. The world is saying, oh, that's the best country in the world. Oh, that's the richest country in the world. There is a French economist named Thomas Piketty. That man did a fantastic book, Capital in the 21st Century. That man shows it's a book that is phenomenal in terms of statistics. That man showed in that book where for the past 60 years, the rich is getting richer in the United States, the poor is getting poorer. And yet the people of the world thinks that this is a standard bearer to look up to. It's not. There is nothing. Obama said that his case was an exceptional case. His father came from Ghana, got fathered a kid with an American woman. He grew up very poor and he made it to presidency. And that makes United States special. There are many, many more cases like that. Do you know who's Narendra Modi? If because of how Obama became the president, United States is a special country, then India is far more special than United States. Modi used to sleep, the prime minister of India used to sleep in ashrams. Obama never even slept in a working class house. So what I think the positive thing about the Trump presidency is that it has exposed the United States for the whole world to see. The man won because he campaigned on the poverty he saw, that this was a great country in 1920, 1925, 1930, and now look what it is. And so he said to them, I am going to bring back the greatness of the United States. Vote for me. I am going to get rid of all this poverty. Good evening.
Pleasant evening, Mr. Frederick.
Yes. Good evening.
What are your thoughts on the Guyana police force having a system whereby we just show them our driver's license and they input our information and the vehicle number in the system and everything shows up rather than to have a set of papers lying around? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they're not. The government is not moving to that, whereby if you show your ID, it tells you everything about your driver's license. Yeah, I mean, the lesser paperwork. I think that is fine. When you show them your driver's license,
yes,
then it shows that your car is insured. It shows. I think aren't we moving to a national identification card that will have all of that? I think I don't know about other countries. I think Germany has that, but I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with
that. Sounds very, very appealing to you. Very good.
I don't have a problem with that. I think when you go to the bank and you have your ID, the bank would, you would have your GRA tax number and all those kinds of things. I don't have a problem.
Number and so everything on it. That's very good. That's very good. Okay. Thank you very much. That was my input for tonight.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
The time just flies. We didn't get to engage the diaspora, but we did engage with our local Guyanese because Guyanese who are living here. So we are winding down. So call me if you want to call me on my cell. Just tell me something that I need to tell to the viewers. My number is 614-5927. My phone is right here. You have to tell me you want to pass on a message to the public, or you want to tell me something that happened that the public should know. Just call me. I will talk to you, and I will relay what you've told me to the viewers who are looking, the thousands of viewers who are looking at us. Otherwise to that, let's continue our conversation. We have 9 minutes more, so let's talk. Let's talk about the fantastic resurgence of Donald Trump. I don't think he should have been re-elected with that kind of mentality he has. But the United States has generated people like Trump. That flawed society, that flawed country has generated someone like Trump. When you see what the things Trump believes in, the things that Trump has done, all that he has been through, he's been charged, he's a convicted felon. The man didn't just squeak in. The man beat Kamala Harris soundly and won the Electoral College vote soundly. I have to say that for a country to vote for someone like Trump, it doesn't say much about that country. Good evening.
Hi, good night, Sherry.
Yes, sir. I'm Freddie. I'm here, and you're talking to Freddie. Let's talk.
I just pension thing when I hear people old age pension. Why feel that the people them
I don't understand what you mean. A lot of people don't use NIS.
They don't pay NIS, so when they get old and they get caught up, you know, age catch you. You only got to depend on the government pension.
But that is not exactly accurate. Once you're an employee, you pay NIS. The only people who don't pay NIS are the people who never worked in their lives. But if you take a job at John Fernand's, if you take a job at Tulsi Prasad, if you go to work at the Chronicle, if you go to work at Starbuck News, if you go to work at car importation company, you pay NIS. That is a very sweeping statement you make, that people don't pay NIS, so when they get old, they ain't got a pension. Most people collect NIS pension in Guyana because most people pay pension. All employees.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that you got people who are driving minibus, people who are driving truck,
those
them now don't pay NIS.
Yeah, those are self-employed people. It would be
half the population.
Yeah. Half the population.
Pay NIS. So when you get
not half the population. How you arrive at half the population? No man, not half the population.
But I know a lot of people in them field. The point I was saying together that when you get old now, you only have to depend on the government NIS, because some people never pay NIS in their whole life.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What the government should do, but would think as a real money, them should help subsidize NIS money for people.
They're doing that. They're doing that. The people who didn't meet the amount of contribution to get something, the government has paid that. So the government has done something wonderful there. They have subsidized the people who couldn't get a pension.
Right, because if you get it for 43,000 now, and you get 46 only, carry it to like what 70, something close to 80,000.
Well, from January, senior citizen gone up to 41.
Right, but I just said that people who don't get NIS at all, right? They only got different from the government.
Yeah.
Them gonna find them hard, real hard.
Yeah, I know.
That's the point I try to make. Because a lot of people, as I said, minibus, truck, conductor, construction worker, a lot of people never pay NIS in their whole life. So we just assume that should help subsidize so that people get, pay that when they meet 60, the government should subsidize it. That's help them out to pay. That when they get old, they will get double. They will get from the government plus NIS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be better because I listen to the show regular, and a lot of people, you complain that the money can't do and he can't do it. You only got to depend on the government when you understand. But if you get NIS plus the government, it'll be a bigger boost.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't pay.
Well, they chose that life. You have something called self-employed. Self-employed supposed to pay NIS, but if the minibus drivers and the taxi drivers don't want to do that, good. The operator say we have 3 minutes more to go. So we've got 3 minutes. You can call in and talk about anything you want to talk about. There was a missing link in the program this evening. We did not connect to the diaspora because we don't have a WhatsApp number. Hopefully we will get a co-host next week and we could engage the diaspora. If the diaspora want to call me quickly, my number is 614-5927. If you have anything that you would like to say to the viewers and you can't get through on WhatsApp, call my cell phone, 614-5927, and I will convey the message. So we're winding down. Is there any more calls? Yeah, good evening. We've got 2 minutes.
Good evening, Mr. Kissoon.
Yeah.
I want to talk a bit about the Guyana police force.
Oh God, everybody talks about that.
Especially the group police, the traffic department that reading it. I think them people really need to be changed and let new police come at that place.
You're talking to somebody who see them behave like that all the time.
Oh God, they're really corrupted, and I don't know if people don't see. And if a new police come, the old one tell them, well, don't touch your one, don't touch your one, don't touch your one. So the new police can't do anything as well. I think that whole traffic department of the group need to remove. I don't know if anybody listening.
I hope the Minister of Home Affairs listening, Robson Ben.
Yeah.
Since this program started 2.5 years, there have been complaints about the police. I see what happens on the road. You wouldn't believe some of the things I do. I stop many times and I look at them. I'm at a distance and I look at them. They don't stop those big expensive cars because they're afraid of who those people are when those people may contact the big ones. They stop a lot of ordinary people because they know those are the people they could intimidate. Those are the people that are afraid, and those are the people that will give them money. Let me tell you something. I swear on my parents' grave, I parked by the Rubis gas station near there, and I watched these traffic cops stopping people, and they didn't stop any SUV or fancy vehicle. They know if they stop the ordinary people, the people can give them money. But our operator signal the time is come.
I hope somebody will hear our cry and sort the thing out. Sort this situation here.
Yeah, the police force, they have some good policemen, some very good policemen, but they have a large percentage of bad eggs. Thanks for coming through. Our time has come.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye. It's 2 minutes after 10. Our operators have to go. The street outside the studio, Laluni Street, is deserted. Queenstown here is very lonely and deserted, so we gotta get out of here. I will count from 1 to 10, and if there are no other calls, let's call it George. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. This edition has come to a close. Thanks for being with me. I hope I did well carrying the program alone. Catch you later. Bye-bye. See you on Monday.